Welcome to episode 59 of the Brew Crew Scoop. It's Thursday, the 3rd of July. When this episode comes out, it'll probably be the early hours of the 4th of July, so happy 4th, everyone. We will not be recapping the last game of the Mets series that's happening between recording and the 4th. But as it stands right now, the Brewers are 10 games over 500, 48 and 38, 3 games back of the crown in the NL Central uh, after the doubleheader against the Mets yesterday. Going on, Cole.
Yeah, yeah, we're rolling. Miz is finally showing he's human, but all in all, still can't complain as a Brewers fan. Well, can't complain that much. There might be some complaints later, but we'll wait till we get to a certain section for me.
Yeah, overall, I mean, we are a few games past the halfway point, and I'll take I don't know, it's got to be approximately a 90 win pace. I don't know off the top of my head, but basic math tells me I think so. So 90 win pace, I'll take that after what was not a great start. Oh, the George W. Bush upper deck card. I wasn't looking. Good stuff.
Yeah, I really like the back of it. I'm gonna read it quick because I think it's really funny that they printed this on a baseball card. It says, the 43rd President of the United States, Bush was sworn into office on January 20th, 2001. Since then, he has declared war on terrorism while trying to better the lives of Americans. Bush previously served as the governor of Texas as well as the managing partner of MLB's Texas Rangers. I just like that it says he's fighting terrorism.
What is that like is it like '04 upper deck, I feel like.
I think
Because
so.
that would be
It says
right after.
2003
Okay, yeah.
on the back, but it might have came out in 2004. Like the
Oh yeah.
trademark's 2003.
I remember I think because obviously prime of like ripping packs and collecting cards like 2008. I remember having like inserts for like Obama and McCain in the packs with the same kind of stats. Kind
I'm
of cool.
sure.
Um, but yeah, back to the Brewers. This week they almost completely took care of business against the Rockies. Can't complain about 2 of 3 normally, but it is the Rockies, and it was a brutal loss on Sunday. Um, Orlando Arcia took Trevor McGill deep in the ninth with 2 outs and sent it to extras. And the Brewers ended up losing. I did go to the Nelly concert on Friday. It was amazing. $5 tap beers for 3 hours before the game. What a great promotion. I'll definitely be back if they do that again. Um, so on the week, they're 4-2, which isn't bad. Would have been nice to see 5-1. Um, Bats came alive, including a Joey Ortiz grand slam in game one of the doubleheader yesterday against the Mets. But in the second game, despite a Churio homer, Jacob Misiorowski was human. Kind of looked like he lost control a little bit, and then after that, was taking some velo, I would assume kind of intentionally off to try to locate and just didn't look good. That's been the knock on him when he hasn't been performing well in the minor leagues is his control. So obviously a very long, jerky uh delivery. So that's going to be the key for him to have success, and I'm sure he will have a lot of success, but until he learns to locate, um he might take lumps like this sometimes, especially against good lineups. The Mets haven't been playing well lately, but that's a really good lineup.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, I think all in all though, we can't really complain on what's happened since we last talked. My grandpa's pointed out to me twice. He's real upset McGill threw a breaking pitch to Arcia after mowing him down with a couple fastballs, but that happens. And then I know you were at the Nelly concert. I was at the Riley Green concert and saw half the team come out. I was like in the crowd and Sal walked by and I shouted him out. It was pretty funny. He's not the tallest of MLB outfielders, but he was cool, said I. So uh, good to see a lot of the team out there. And then I was ready to fade the guys that were there, but then him and Yelly both hit homers the next day. So that wasn't the reason we fell in extras. But yeah, Miz, it was going to happen, right? So I think he'll just have to keep developing. And worst comes to worst, we obviously have a ton of arms and guys coming back to health. So if he needs a second to key back in on some things too, we got the depth there. So can't be too upset as we have said.
Brew Crew Ryan is reporting a phantom rehab injury extension for Blake Perkins. Looks like the beat writers reported about 10 minutes ago. Perkins is back from his rehab assignment to the injured list with the left groin strain. So, hoping that's truly fake. There's just not really room for him in the outfield at the moment if Isaac Collins is going to keep playing well. Even if they did something a little more creative, Joey Ortiz has been hot recently. So,
I think there's a spot for him on the roster though, probably over Siegler, who just got called up. I think they just probably wouldn't want to move Siegler back down so fast, but
yeah.
they DFA'd Daz, I think, for that. So there definitely would be a spot. But yeah, Isaac Collins, who we might talk about later, has been um, good enough to retain that starting job for sure.
Who was your hot hitter of the week against the Rockies and the Mets?
Stop dropping on fire, Ricky Bobby. I'm on fire. He's so hot right now.
Hot hitter of the week. Not gonna take too long here to talk about who I just said we're gonna talk about. I'm gonna give it to Isaac Collins. Um, since we last talked, only 15 plate appearances, but he's got a 1.121 OPS, home run, 3 runs. Also, got to give some honorable mention shouts to Durbin and Terang as well as Sal. Um, Durbin really honestly could have got it as well. He had a really nice couple of games. He got a bit of a breather, I think, with Siegler now, or a couple less plate appearances, but all in all, yeah, the offense was not really an issue since we last talked. So lots of guys earned at least a shout. Reese turned it on a little bit, which we'd like to see because he was the one guy we talked about who hadn't been as hot, but lots of guys getting it done. And Trang, obviously, and Yelly both had those hit streaks. I think Yelly's ended. Trang's, is it still going?
I wasn't able to watch much yesterday.
But either way,
Let me look.
boys are hot. I don't know if
I
you have any.
want to mention last week, obviously untouchable pitcher Jacob Misiorowski was the NL Rookie of the Month. So luckily yesterday's start was
Yeah, July.
just after the cutoff, but kind of a bigger thing to mention there at the beginning of the podcast. Let me look at game two box score. Um, for the Brewers, Bryce. Oh, that's right. Terang. Okay, yeah, he was 0 for 4. So, but his batting average is at 288. And Freely's 296. Good to see a couple of contact guys with batting averages close to 300. You don't see many of those these days,
Yeah.
obviously.
I think I saw he did a like in studio thing with MLB Network too, which is kind of
Yeah,
cool.
I
Love a
did see
little
it.
more national recognition for him because he's been a premier defensive second baseman in the league now for a couple of years, and as long as his bat's near average, we're happy to have him.
Yeah, that was cool. Who was your untouchable pitcher of the week?
You fellas are untouchable. Is that the thing? No one can get to you?
Quinn Priester, baby. Obviously hit that 11 strikeout outing, one hitter, two walks, over 7 innings. So gotta give it to the man, Quinn Priester. Just would like to remind everybody that we were one of the few, I think, Brewers, whatever, podcast, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, that weren't freaking out about giving up Joffrey Rodriguez, who since has got about a 620 OPS in A-ball with the Red Sox. And now you can look at Red Sox Twitter freaking out about how they lost this deal and cry, cry, cry. So not saying it was a fleece for on our end, but there was a reason we wanted them. We went out and got them. Still might have probably paid more than some might have at the time for what he was worth, but clearly we knew what we wanted, and I wouldn't expect 11 Ks out of him all that often, but he's been getting it done. So Quinn Priester gets the shout, and then a little honorable mention shout to Grant Anderson out of the pen because he's been a surprising stud for us as well. I think kind of slept on how valuable he's been because he's been pretty consistent throughout the year too.
Looking at the standings, I know I mentioned that the Brewers are 3 games back of the NL Central lead, which is the Cubs still. Same amount of games played, so it's true 3 games back in the win column. Cardinals are not far behind us, and the Reds are not far behind them. Cubs have been able to keep up the pace, even with the Brewers being really, really hot. Um, looking at the rest of the National League, nothing's really changed. Dodgers have a big lead. Phillies have a small lead over the Mets. And then in the American League, Blue Jays and Yankees are tied in the East. Detroit still stays pulled away from the rest of the division in the Central. And Houston, again, 7-game lead, 52 and 34 in the West. Um, Currently, the Brewers would be a half game back of the Mets in the wild card. They kind of been jumping back and forth. Winner of today will be holding that top NL wild card spot over the Padres, Cardinals, Giants, Reds, Diamondbacks. A lot of teams that are likely to be in contention. And then the AL wild card, Yankees, Rays, Mariners, holding the spots. So starting to get past the halfway point, starting to be kind of relevant. RBF from traffic. Are you
Coach
driving your
Keenan.
convertible?
No,
Welcome.
I don't know how to change the name. It's RBF from the golf course right now.
Oh,
Oh,
tough day at the office, huh?
Yeah, we're backed up here on hole 9 at Edgewater, so I figured I'd hop in and say what's up.
What's up?
Not much. Just got done with a 5-game homestand, so got to watch absolutely no Brewers games. But I did see Miz get touched up on the replay of the game last night at the bar. And then I did get to see some tweets about it, so I don't know how much you guys went in depth about that or what you're talking about right now.
Who was the hot hitter or pitcher of the Lakeshore Chinooks of the week? Can you shout
yeah.
anybody
Who's
out?
the furry of the week?
Furry of the week, I'll go with my boy Jason. He was Pikachu. And then I'll also do hot hitter of the week. Probably. See, I don't get to watch the games necessarily, but my boy Grant Gray, he's chill. He knows my name. So, and then pitcher of the week, Brantley Upshaw from Georgia State, threw 1 inning yesterday, gave up 1 run. It was his debut, so good
Pitcher
for
of
him.
the week.
Good
He's got a
stuff.
9 ERA.
I don't. Oh, I mean, last week it was my boy Art Liebau.
Hey,
He
that sounds
goes to
pretty good.
CW, so
Yeah,
yeah.
true. I said,
Hey,
man, I've been seeing the opposing teams at the gym lately. Maybe I'll have to start trolling them, dropping some marbles on the floor or something, taking some boys out before they roll into Mequon or whatever the technical
Can we
locality is
get
of.
Cole a property of the Northwoods League Chinook shirt so he can get in a
Yeah,
fight
dude.
with the whack? Come on.
yeah, I'll give you one of the batting practice T-shirts. I don't even have one of those, so when I grab mine, I'll give you one.
Yeah, Scoop used to always just steal stuff out of the closet
Oh,
at the
all the time.
Kingfish.
Oh yeah, I mean Parkside, they lost hundreds of dollars on me.
All right. Transactions, injured lists, news. I want to say the biggest news probably has to do with this upcoming schedule this weekend. Brandon Woodruff back, pitching in Marlins Park almost 2 years after his last appearance in the majors, which was also at Marlins Park.
Does anybody recall if that was the game we scored like 26 runs in?
It was that series. I don't know if it was that game or one of the other games, but it was definitely that series because that was like one of the last 3 series, and then we clinched, and everything was great until we were recording the podcast, and everything wasn't great.
I was gonna say that I remember everybody was like, "Oh, it feels like 2018. We're so hot
Mm-hmm.
going into the playoffs. It's our year." And then, yeah, I remember doing the pod, sitting at your kitchen counter, mid pod, getting the news about Woody. But I will be tuned into that game on my phone from Capco Field.
Well, he's back.
Sorry, Scoop, but that just reminded me, speaking of being hot going into the playoffs, going into that second game yesterday, what were the Brewers against the Mets in their last, at that point, what,
Yeah.
16 games or whatever?
It was, I
13?
think it was 13-2 or 15-2 in their last 15 or 17 games. So in the regular season, we just manhandled the Mets. But when we out homer them like 20-1 in a playoff series, then we lose the series. So, brutal.
Sorry.
All
I
right.
didn't
Anyone
want
else
to bring that up, but
got other news or
there
transactions
was
for us?
a debut, obviously, in the doubleheader in New York. I think the city originally, Anthony, is it Siegler or Cycler? Either way, was drafted to play in. Former Yankees first round pick. Got the shout, got a hit in the second game. Third base, kind of he played catcher. I don't assume he's going to play much catcher in the pros for us, but good to see him get some stuff done. DFA, like we said, at Daz. It was cool to have him on the team as Coach Keenan. Did he already swing? Did I miss it?
No, hold on. All right, you guys ready? Watch this drive.
Oh, I can't
He
wait.
doesn't even
Hold
know.
up, hold up that George Bush
He
card.
doesn't even know. Now watch this drive. I like the walk off.
Yeah.
Does he think he's Kobe Mayo pimping his first homer off a position player? Good
I'm
job,
gonna have to
Keen.
pay. I'm
You
gonna have to pay
didn't
some property damage for sure. That definitely just drilled a house.
you didn't even realize that we were talking about this George W. Bush card before you joined the podcast, and then you said, "Now watch this drive."
That ball probably went really far, but it went. It just tailed on me.
Yeah, we don't have the ball tracking technology on Zoom yet.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
we actually couldn't see at all where it went, so you totally could have lied to us.
yeah.
I'm more worried about me walking up and seeing a broken window on this house right now. Kind of tweaking, but whatever.
Um,
I'd say this kind of fits in transactions
yeah,
because
I was gonna say, or roll into the farm too. We could
I was
talk
going to
farm.
touch on I'll touch on transactions while we're here because it was a prior transaction to the Brewers this year. Cut Vinny Capra. And little did we know that tied into some MLB history with Clayton Kershaw's 3,000 strikeout. So Vinny Capra, one for the record books. Not only did he have one of the worst hitless streaks you'll see in the majors, he also is the victim for Clayton Kershaw's 3,000th strikeout. So in the history books.
Yeah,
Do you have
Vinny
anything to
Capra
say?
balls.
Anything to say about the lefty scoop?
Yeah, he caught a he caught a stray on Baseball is Dead today. Uh, J.A. said, yeah, like they were
Yeah,
arguing.
he couldn't even say his name. He
Yeah, they
called
were
him
kind
like
of like
Mike.
arguing, not arguing. They were debating if you would want to be like the butt of that like accomplishment or not. And he said, "I'd imagine this is the only time we're gonna be talking about Mike Capra the rest of the year." And he's like, "Oh, sorry, Vinny Capra."
Yeah, tough. Tough. Other former Brewers transactions, Asturi Ruiz has made it back to the league with the Dodgers. I'm sure he'll somehow be good, or they literally could just pinch run him.
I was gonna say, pinch run for the playoff stretch. Terrence Gore of the modern day.
And you took the words right out of my mouth.
I can hop into around the farm too now
Oh,
if you want.
sure, yeah, we could do that in a sec. I was just gonna say like, the other person that you texted about today, Luis Ortiz. It looks like some gambling was happening. That's
Yeah,
it's come out now.
I think
So
it said that it was like two specific pitches or something. That's
with
what
such
one of the
wagers,
things I saw. So I don't even know.
micro, but huh? I don't know. I have to read this before I say anything else. But yeah, it looks like it's gambling.
Yeah, so
But take us around the farm.
he'll have to wait till he dies, and then they'll probably give him eligibility for the Hall like they did
Yeah.
Pete Rose. Um, well, I guess Scoop, if you have anything first, you can go. Otherwise, I just have some.
Nope.
Okay.
Let her rip.
Well, first, I guess I don't know if you guys have anything to say, but we have one representative as of now, at least in the futures game, Jesus Mate. Um, I would have liked to see probably some more, but I feel like not too many teams get more than one player normally. So whatever, limited. Kind of like the All-Star game. Like everyone, I'm sure needs some love, but we got a lot of studs. Would have loved to see maybe Mate and Pena together or something like that. Would have been cool. I think Cooper Pratt playing that last year, maybe, but he's another guy that I would like to get some eyeballs on for the greater league, but we got him in the game. And then I also saw an Angels prospect, George Clausen. Do you know that name, Scoop? Maybe Port Washington high school grad. He's a pitcher. But yeah, from Port Washington. So
I don't think so.
watch for him. Hopefully, Jesus Mate can pimp one off him or something, and the rest of his outing can be good because we still repping the Wisconsin boys. I think I texted this the other day. I didn't realize Pete Fairbanks was born in Milwaukee or something. I don't like,
Yeah, I looked. It looked like he went to high school in Missouri
yeah,
and
and then
college,
left. I was
so
gonna
he
say he's
may have
not
just
like
been
a
born.
because
Yeah.
a lot of the other guys like kind of that we know and talk about actually played around here, but got it. That makes more sense. Um, let's see. For the Carolina Mudcats, I have a Pedro Ibargin. Don't know his name. Shortstop. He had a really nice series for them. He got OBP 526. So, he keeps that up. We got a spot for him on this big league team. Braylon Payne also has been getting it done as well. And Eric Batanti had a nice series. I saw he had 2 home runs since we last, or in the last 7 days. So good to see him also doing well at shortstop. It's kind of funny. I like pulled the top performers in the last week, and Of the 5 guys I have screenshotted, 4 of them are listed as shortstops. Classic minor league development of players. Everyone's a shortstop till they're not. For the Timber Rattlers, Blake Burke, in the last week a 5.24 on base percentage with a homer and 3 RBI. So would love to see him keep developing. I think especially unsure about what first base looks like next year for this team. He was that Comp A pick last year, so good for him. And then Kalen, Nick, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. He was, I think, a draft pick a couple years ago.
What was the name?
Kalen Nicasia, five two
He was
six
a farm guy.
OBP with a triple and a homer. Well, I thought he was like
I'm just
Hawaiian
kidding.
or something, but I might totally just be making everything up.
Can Keen hear us?
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
Shank! All
All right. Watch this 7-iron.
right.
210 out. Well, that's straight as an arrow, baby. Stay out of the bunk.
How's it look,
Yeah,
Scoop?
I was gonna say that same thing that you said. We probably could have earned more futures games players. My dad actually texted me the same thing, but I feel like the rosters are like it's like 30 people
Yeah.
for I want or 40 total, I mean, for the two teams. So it's like you're gonna get one or maybe two. So
All
and
right.
a couple of our top prospects, I think Miz is one still technically, but
I said Kalen Nicasia. I said he might have been Hawaiian. He was born in the Netherlands
mm,
and drafted in
those are pretty
2021.
close.
Yeah, drafted in 2021. So I was right that he was drafted a couple years out of high school. So outfielder, keep an eye on. In Biloxi, Matt Wood, we think we said last week he was heating up and he stays heating up. Mike Bovee as well, and Luis Lara is still getting on base. So love to see that out of him. He's the guy that can do it definitely on both sides of the ball and the bases. So good for them. Nothing crazy in Nashville. Oliver Dunn is coming back to life. Don't know if we'll see him in a Brewers uniform ever again.
Hope not.
Yeah. Pitching wise, a lot of guys obviously are doing well in this org on that side of the ball, but Bryce McCaj for the Mudcats, 3 innings,
I
zero
think it's
earned.
message.
I think it is message. Ethan Dorshis, I think we've talked about him as well too. 4 innings pitched, 6 Ks, no earned. So a couple guys getting it done for the Mudcats. Um, Timber Rattlers, Tyler Westner, a guy we've talked about before. He went 1.2 without anyone scoring. Steven Cruz went 4.1, 4 Ks, zero earned. And Baden Root and Jack Seppings as well. So a lot of guys getting it done on the bump in high A. And then in Biloxi, Casey Hunt, he's a guy that's popped up. He had a nice outing for them in relief. Tate Cooner, he had a really nice outing. He had a start.
Keener.
Keener.
You know, Cole, I'm starting to realize that your only weakness, you're so smart, your only weakness is pronunciation. I'm gonna hold this against you.
Yeah, my grandpa can't really do it. I think I got it from him maybe. But at least I can pronounce like the guys on the major league roster. So I
Yeah,
got that going for me. But
all
yeah,
that
let's see.
counts.
Sorry, in the last 7 days, Biloxi had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pitchers that didn't give up an earned run in their outing. So 4 of them are starters, or 3 of them are starters as well. So Brett Wachorowski, Tyson Harden, lots of guys getting it done. Too many to shout out, but love to see that. And then Nestor Cortez pops up on the old Nashville stat line. He went 3 innings, 4 Ks, zero earned, 1 hit, no walks. So he might be one kind of relief outing away from coming back up, pending what we want to do. But love to see that. Yoel Payams and Elvis Peguero, both in Craig Yoho, all had scoreless outings. Blake Hullub, is that right, Scoop? Or are you gonna tell
I
me
think it's
I'm
Polo, but
idiot?
I'm not 100% convicted on that one.
All right. He also had a nice outing. So lots of guys getting it done in the farm system. Again, that's been a common thread, I guess, every week of this podcast is shouting out guys getting it done. So I'd love to hear too if like any, I don't know, listeners or even followers are really from those minor league cities and they just follow the Brewers because of those. I always wonder about that. Like, I know for hockey here with the Admirals,
Yeah.
a lot of people say they're Predators fans because of the ads. I always wonder down in Biloxi if we got a bunch of Brewers fans.
A couple of things I want to add. Maybe this should have been mentioned already, but I don't think we mentioned yet that Mitchell did have season-ending
Yeah,
surgery. So that was the
don't
one
think we
thing.
did.
I think we kind of knew he needed surgery. Andrew Vaughn playing some third base. Sounds like in
Yeah,
the
we'll
minors.
see how well that glove is because we know how picky this org is when it comes to it. But yeah, I think they have a lot of first basemen on that roster, if I recall.
Yep. And then just the last thing, I guess not really related to the farm, but something I wanted to put in here before we got to final thoughts stuff is um the All-Star talk. There's like this is the first year in a long time I can remember that I didn't think any Brewers really had any of a case for the fan vote, which is just so weird because we've been playing well this year, but they announced All-Star game starters and normally I kind of have a gripe about like, oh, this player should have at least been in the top two for a position. That wasn't really the case. So curious to see where All-Star ends up being. It's looking more and more like it might just be Christian Yelich. He's been really hot for the last month. Freddie Peralta, maybe.
Yeah,
I
I was
don't
gonna
know.
say it might be Freddie.
Yeah, I don't know. But um, time will tell. We're gonna see a lot of those All-Stars when Brewers return home. First they head to Miami, like we discussed, but then the Dodgers are coming to town, so gonna be a star-studded matchup there. They got a lot of All-Stars already, even without the reserves being mentioned. But yeah, I'm curious because I feel like the Brewers have a lot of fringe All-Star guys, and they're definitely not going to get four of them. So curious to see what it
Yeah.
is. Doesn't really matter. I think it would be kind of cool to see Yelich get another one. Just keep solidifying how good of a career he's had. Not really a guy who's probably going to be in a Hall of Fame case at the end of it, but just keep stacking All-Stars and whatever onto his Gold Glove and his Silver Sluggers and MVP. So
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I know too. I think Freddie technically like is tied for first and or leads the NL in wins, and he's got a 2.91, so he's got
yeah,
a nice case.
I guess that's probably the best case. Now that you say that, he's got a 291.
But I mean, once it comes to past the fan vote, like they can take Yelly and Yelly can play outfield. It's not like he has to
Yeah.
DH. But
Not if they want to win. Just kidding. All right, cool. Well, I'll just say my beers of the week are
I'll have a brewski, Charlie. Well, there's nothing like a cold one after a long day, huh? Oh, yeah. I've been known to drink a beer or two.
the two $5 beers I was drinking at the stadium last week, and I'm going to be drinking a lot of this weekend. First, definitely have done it before, but Line and Cool Summer Shandy. But the new one that I wanted to add on there was a different one that I had on tap at the game was the Line and Kugel's Liney Lodge Lime.
I had
Um,
that at Summerfest.
kind of like
Bush Lime.
yeah, kind of. It said something like I want to say like a Mexican lager with lime or something where they want it to be more like a Corona, but I don't know. It was pretty good. They're both good.
Yeah, they're refreshing. Coach Keane, you got a beer of the week or beer of the course today?
I only had one drink on the course, and it was a Captain Diet. So
You feeling okay?
I feel phenomenal. I'm about to go scarf down, shot plus 12 on 9 holes. I think it was course record for me. Might have been
Oh yeah.
course record for everybody else too. Probably not though.
You coming over to celebrate America with us for a little while tomorrow or what?
Absolutely. I said I would be there. It just depends on when.
Fuck yeah. Good stuff.
All right.
All right. Final thoughts. Baseball related, America or otherwise.
I got a rest in peace, Dave Parker. Spent a season as a Brewer, toward their age 39 season, and he hit 289 with a 781 OPS, 21 jacks, 92 RBI. He got into the or got voted into the Hall of Fame, and his induction was going to be this summer. So obviously he won't be there for the induction, but he knew he was a Hall of Famer. So I guess that's cool. And obviously he was older in life at this point, but rest in peace to one of the all-time cool baseball players. I feel like lots of cool pictures and quotes and stuff from him throughout his career.
Yeah, he was our all-star that year as well, and I know this name always brings a big reaction, but kind of a little bit of a trying to mentor Gary Sheffield. It sounds like from a lot of the
So
stories
he's
I've
a
heard.
failed mentee.
Yeah. No,
Why'd
I
you
think
have to bring it up?
this was after the outburst, but
Gotcha.
I don't know. I wasn't alive. But anyways, yeah, and then swinging the sledgehammer in the on deck circle. That's like my favorite picture of him in a Brewers uniform. But yeah, he got into the Hall of Fame, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, he won't be there this summer. But any other final thoughts?
I'll take one. I'm sure you guys talked about this already, but the July 25th home run derby with the alumni. If anybody, the tens of people that are listening, if you haven't gotten your tickets already, I'm pretty sure they're starting to fly off the shelf. I don't know of an event that is like this. I'm even taking the day off of work, so
Oh yeah. Yeah, I
it
don't
should be
know.
packed and it should be a good time. And I would hope that would be like an absolute standing crowd sellout with the fans in the seats. This is a once in a lifetime event. I think it's probably the coolest thing the Brewers have ever done.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like between that and then opening the gates 3 hours early the other day for $5 beers during BP, that like couple of cool non-stupid theme like things for actual baseball fans they've done recently. So I'll give them credit because a lot of times it seems like they're like, oh, let's get someone in the stadium. Let's do Stranger Things night or something like, which is fine. But it's cool
The
to like,
Dollar Hot Dog Club or whatever.
yeah, it's cool to actually be like, here, have some cheap beer, watch BP, or here's the greatest players of this generation coming back to hit home runs. Great idea.
You guys, I guess it's a team event, right? And they'll like draft them or something, so we don't know yet. But I was gonna say, do you have any guesses for who leads, at least in home runs individually? If that's how it works.
Prince Fielder,
100%.
that's my
I'm
vote.
I'm
He
taking
just
my
won a home run derby
the
wherever they
Negro
were
League one,
playing
I
that
think.
Cooperstown or something.
Yeah. I'm
So
gonna
he's already
take
good at it. I mean, he's definitely, and he's a two-time champ. So I think maybe Niger Morgan, but you never know. Carlos Gomez would be a decent pick. I don't know. It'll be fun
yeah, I
though.
was gonna shout out Carlos Gomez. Are all the guys that are there participating in it though? I don't
Everybody that was in that graphic:
That's what I thought.
Keon Broxton, Prince Fielder, Corey Hart, Ryan Braun, uh, Cargo.
gotcha.
I can't think of everybody else, but there are multiple. Niger Morgan. I think it's 5-5, or it was 4-4. Then they announced that Ryan Braun
AC
and
McGee.
Casey McGee. Yes, they
I've always
announced that
said
Ryan
I'd
Braun
love
and
to see
somebody else.
Niger Morgan in a home run derby.
He's gonna.
Yeah.
Where's Nori Aoki, bro?
Dude, he should be there.
This looks like an interesting question that I just saw uh, from a article by Brent McGuire, but McCalvy tweeted it with this question. So I don't know who's posing the question, but after Kershaw it says, will we see another pitcher reach 3,000 Ks?
No.
I got to look at the list to see if any of those other guys are close.
Where's Verlander? Verlander already has 3K or
Yeah, I
no?
think Verlander does, right? Does he not?
I mean, he's pitched forever. Be kind of hard not to.
I feel
I
like he
think we
definitely,
will. Not soon.
I feel like he definitely
I
does.
mean, if Greinke comes back out of
Oh
retirement and
yeah,
gets what,
yeah.
13?
Verlander's got almost 3,500. So that's probably why we don't even remember. It was
Jesus.
like
Yeah, I
five
was gonna
years
say,
ago.
yeah,
And Scherzer
probably
has it too, I assume?
pre-COVID.
Or no?
I don't know about Scherzer. Let me look. He's
He
got
has a
to.
weird career, but he K'd a lot of guys.
He has to.
I don't think he Ks a lot of guys
Yeah,
anymore,
same
though.
boat. 34-19.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is
Jesus.
on Baseball's Dead today they were saying, "Oh, is it clear that Kershaw's had the best career of the three?"
No,
Well,
I thought, dude, the other day they were
now
talking
that I
about, I
looked
thought
at it,
Verlander clearly had the best career of the three, honestly.
kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, the other day someone said that about those three, and I was,
I
I
don't know.
saw.
and they made it seem
Kershaw's been
like
the
it was
most
dumb to even
consistent.
question it. Yeah, but I mean,
But
Kershaw's
yeah,
awesome, but
yeah.
I don't
He's just
know.
been the most consistent. I feel like. Where if you look at like the ERA every single year, where these last 5 years, Verlander and Scherzer had some up and downs,
Yeah, but
but
they're also older.
yeah,
Verlander's older
Verlander also
anyways.
had an ERA title and a Cy Young at 39.
40.
Yeah.
I
So
did see somebody tweeted out it was like the ERA plus leaders of everybody who's gotten 3,000 Ks, and uh, Kershaw is 1 point ahead of Pedro, like leading everybody. So I think that's why he's had
Yeah.
the most. He's had the best peak,
Hey,
I
he's been
guess.
consistent. Or
But
longest peak for
Verlander,
sure.
he's longevity.
after pitching one game in 2020, and uh, is that one game? Yeah, one game in 2020 and no games in 2021. He won the Cy Young in 2022 with a 175 ERA over 175 innings. That's
Yeah, that's
crazy.
crazy.
At 39 years old, I have a 175 over 175. Yeah, I'm gonna look right now at the all-time strikeout leaderboard, see if there's
I don't think there's
anyone.
anyone close. I thought Garrett Cole was kind of close, but I think his arm and all that stuff's probably brought that into question.
I
You
mean,
say there.
Miz is the next one that comes to mind.
I mean, but honestly, like a Skeens, if he stays healthy,
Yeah.
that's what it'll take, though. It doesn't seem like there's an obvious guy
Oh,
lined up.
Zach Greinke, I forgot is only 21 away.
That's what
Yeah,
Keane said.
That's
I
so
just mentioned
funny.
that.
That's what Keane said, yeah.
Oh,
He
I'm
should
Thanks
have
for
sorry.
came
listening
back
to
I
me.
didn't hear
too.
you. That's so funny that he just didn't care.
Throw him on
Cy
a
Young,
roster.
what an idiot. Cy Young only needed 197 more.
Yeah, Cy Young probably
His
retired when he
innings
was
are like
85.
triple what everyone else's are. Yeah, the close. Oh, Chris Sale, he's got 25, 28. He
Well,
could get
he's got a
another.
broken rib cage, so
Yeah, but he's 36, and as recently as last year, he was
yeah, I
the
just
Cy
don't know
Young.
if
I
I
mean,
trust he'll be healthy, but if he sticks around, yeah,
oh, I'm just saying that's. I mean, that's only
yeah,
472 strikeouts. That's he
three
had struck.
seasons,
So
but
I don't know.
What's Burns at?
Yeah, I mean, I guess
he's
that
trending the wrong way in strikeouts,
I
that's
was
for
gonna
sure.
say, yeah.
And he just blew his arm into a million pieces. But I'm just curious now
So
because he,
he's 30 years old. He presumably wouldn't be back till he's 31 or 32, and he's got 1,114.
yeah, he ain't doing that.
Problem is, he started his career as a reliever, and then
And he blew.
basically a wash in that 2019 year where they told him to pound sand, and then it was the COVID year. So then he had the 3 years of 200 Ks, but
How old is Scoobs?
I want to say
I want to
like
say he's
29.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he's older than
older.
you think, I think, but if he
He's
was a little
20. He's
younger,
almost 29.
he's fucking filthy.
So yeah, and he's 29 and he's at 786. So it's
Yeah.
like even though like there's no way. Yeah, interesting. I can't believe Greinke didn't care. But yeah, after Chris Sale, I think
I can believe Grinky didn't care, by the way.
yeah, I
Yeah,
should
I think
say
Granky probably doesn't even know how many
Yeah.
strikeouts he has.
He's like, can I play
after,
shortstop?
after Greinke, the other pitchers over 2,000 are Garrett Cole with 2251, Morton 2124, Darvish 2007. Um, that's it. Then it goes
Prince Fielder
Gosman.
hit 50 home runs in 2007.
I don't know if you guys care, but here's the order after 2000, like in
1
order of
minute final
active
thoughts.
players. Gosman, Gray, Nola, Corbin, Quintana, DeGrom, Wheeler. They have all over 1,700. But
They're all
anyways,
not doing it.
good discussion. All right. Have a good holiday weekend, everyone. Go Brewers.
Go
Be
Nooks.
safe. No drinking and driving.
Yes,
No
sir.
drinking and firework. Well, at
Just
least
don't-
safely do it.
Yeah. Hope everyone has their fingers next week.
Yep.
All right. Bye.
See you
See ya.
guys.